Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Lowe's is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Germaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson Lubin. Some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Bruce, sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout?
Like it's honest. But again, and I want to see them fight. I want to see some aggression. Tank would have that if it was anyone he actually felt was worth it. I just don't know if he thinks Jake's worth it. Again, I get that feeling that he just is there.
Jake Paul has shocked the boxing world once again by bringing in Shakur Stevenson as a sparring partner before his showdown with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. This move instantly raised eyebrows because Stevenson himself offered to step in and support Paul's camp. Paul revealed that his team has carefully recruited a group of dangerous southpaws, smaller, quicker fighters with elite skills, designed to mimic Tank's tricky style. Among them, Stevenson's arrival feels like a game-changer. For Paul, his job is not just about practice, it's about sharpening his weapons. With Shakur's world-class talent in the gym, Paul believes he's leveling up for war.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Lowe's is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Germaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson Lubin. Some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
The sudden link between Jake Paul and Shakur Stevenson has left many analysts scratching their heads. Critics argue that this partnership feels unusual, almost suspicious, given there was never any prior connection between the two. For some, Stevenson's move looks more like a business decision than a boxing-driven choice. Observers compare it to when Jaron "Boots" Ennis worked with Canelo Alvarez ahead of the Terence Crawford fight. The difference, however, is that Boots already had family ties and a history with Canelo, which made sense. In Paul's case, there is no shared background with Stevenson, no friendship, and no personal bridge to explain this sudden collaboration. That's why whispers of money enter the conversation. Many believe Paul might have offered Stevenson a serious financial incentive to join his camp. This sparks heated debates. Is Stevenson motivated by loyalty to boxing or simply by the paycheck Paul provides?
Shakur Stevenson reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Bruce was a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's just a YouTuber. It doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly to make it happen?
Shakur Stevenson has spoken out to clear the air when pressed about the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup. He revealed that if he were in Tank's shoes, he would see the fight through two very different lenses. On the business side, Stevenson admitted the payday and spotlight make sense, but as a fighter, he personally would never take such a bout. His honesty highlights the fine line between boxing as a career move and boxing as pure competition. Critics may question why Stevenson stepped in as Paul's sparring partner, yet he openly admits money does play a role. By separating business from fighter pride, Shakur exposes a hard truth. Modern boxing often blurs the line between real sporting credibility and pure entertainment.
So can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that.
Okay.
It just depends. As a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So, as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
Your
and
pride
as
will get
a
in the way.
fighter with my integrity,
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made.
At the official press conference, sparks flew when Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis came face to face. What started as a stare down quickly exploded into shoves, igniting instant reactions from fans and media worldwide. The scene went viral within minutes, fueling the hype for their upcoming clash. Yet, many analysts argue this fiery moment was less about genuine anger and more about smart promotion. In today's boxing market, these staged confrontations are powerful tools to sell pay-per-view and keep the spotlight burning bright. Jake's push and Tank's response weren't just about pride, they were about building a storyline. The narrative is clear. Can the bigger man overpower the smaller, sharper fighter, or will skill and speed neutralize size? This dramatic encounter guarantees even casual fans will be drawn in, eager to witness the chaos unfold on fight night.
Southpaw orthodox matchup, left hand down the pipe. You can even see here, I'm not even trying to do the whole body language breakdown, but you can even see Tank get under that left hand because he's 5-0. He could roll under that left hand, and here comes the brick hand over the top. If he lands something like that in 10 ounces, I'm going to tell you this. Jake's 200 and something pounds. That's still going to hurt at the very least, and who knows what, because Tank's got ridiculous power. So Jake, a little sloppy on the push there. He got pushed. He wanted to get it back. There's something to be taken away from that, but lines up perfectly for a counter left hand. And you even see his promoter here is kind of grabbing his left hand because Tank wanted to let it fly. Jake backed up a little bit. He said, "Oh," and Tank comes. Tank, man. Tank said, "Where I'm from, the bullies get bullied." All right, dude. There you go. Listen, takeaways from this thing. I don't know. Tank seemed to have a little bit more energy today. He seemed to be more lively. Him going back and forth with the media, with Jay Leon, with Jake, with Aiden Ross. There seemed to be a bit more energy today. That's all I really asked for. So in terms of, selling us on something, sure. Better job today from both guys. Jake, seemed a bit more locked in here with Tank as well. They had a little bit more fun. Tank going after Kiso was pretty funny. But listen, this doesn't change anything in my mind. The 10-ounce gloves doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, again, I think that's a bad idea for Tank, more so because even if Jake doesn't land clean, those are 10-ounce gloves. It's still going to hurt. Tank is still punching in gloves that are 2 ounces heavier than he normally uses, so I don't know how that's a win for him. The $2 million bet almost certainly won't happen, which I didn't think would in the first place, but Tank pretty much confirmed it. And we're all left with the same kind of idea that we thought about this to begin with. This is an entertainment exhibition that we know is going to draw a ton of eyeballs. I'm going to watch, and there's going to be great high-level competition boxing on the underneath card. And even in the main event, if something is to happen, if someone is to get knocked out, it will go mega viral, and both these guys are going to make a shit ton of money.
Despite the entertainment-heavy buildup, insiders are firm that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is not laughing this fight off. Analysts studying his training and body language note a man completely locked in, focused, and determined. To Davis, this is far more than a spectacle. It's a chance to claim both a monster payday and a surge of mainstream recognition. Experts warn Jake Paul not to take Tank lightly. In the past, Paul has toyed with exhibition names like Mike Tyson during promotional talks, but this time is different. Davis is no aging legend. He's in his prime, ruthless, and feared for his ferocity inside the ropes. Paul strolls into the showdown with casual confidence. The consequences could be brutal. Tank's commitment in camp proves he understands not only the financial jackpot, but also the danger of ever losing to a YouTuber turned boxer.
In this particular, in the press conference, and you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's going to get this money for sure because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man. Because Mike Tyson, first of all, Mike Tyson, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not gonna have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash. Like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I got to say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn.
At the end of the day, this fight is more than just Jake Paul versus Gervonta "Tank" Davis. It's about boxing pride, entertainment value, and the collision of two completely different worlds. Whether you believe this is business, spectacle, or pure competition, one thing is certain. Fans will tune in because the stakes feel larger than life. Will Jake prove the doubters wrong, or will Tank deliver the knockout the boxing world craves? We'll find out soon. Stay locked in. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and smash that like button for more explosive updates.